Rev up your engines!
Toyota just screwed over my son. He bought a year and a half ago a hybrid Sienna, paid $47-something thousand. Last week, the middle seat on the driver's side behind the driver broke and it's stuck up in the air. It won't go down. Calls up the dealer, oh, it should be under warranty. So he takes it in. Oh, no, it's going to cost you $863. We have to replace all the bottom mechanism. It's under warranty, right? It's a seat. You sit on the seat, right? And the guy says, well, it's bent the track, and now we got to replace the track, right? That's what they told me. I went in, right? I go under, there's a broken spring that is broken off, and I can see the end of the spring is snapped off. Obviously, the spring was built incorrectly and it broke. They didn't know how to fix it. Turns out they don't sell any kind of real parts of that. They only sell the whole assembly, so it's $800-something, right? Almost all the dealerships, including Toyota, are scumbags. They're out to make money off of you. Year and a half old, $47,000 Sienna. Seat's broken already. They want $800-something to fix it. Toyota Motor Company, they try generally to take care of it. The Japanese, they care. I've had them come to my door when I was in Houston to give a refund check to one of my customers because the dealer didn't do it. I fixed it, and then about a year and a half later, the Japanese guy comes to the door, gives me a check for the customer, right? I give him the old part, and away he goes. The problem with the dealerships are they're owned by Americans in the United States. They're independently owned, right? Toyota does not run them. All they want to do is make money. This particular one was in Massachusetts, and they're behind like bulletproof glass. So immediately I thought, this is like a bank, and then I realized it is a bank. They're only here to get your money. That's all they want. They want your money. It's warranty work. Oh, well, they just, no, that's not covered because the seat broke. Now, if you remember, a while back, months ago, Toyota said, well, they're not being as critical with the parts that they buy now. They're not rejecting as many because they're running low and they want to build the cars. Well, obviously, they put in a neglected spring, and then it snapped after a year and a half. And they refused to warranty it. All I have to say is, these dealerships, almost all of them are the same. From my experience, my customers' experience, you viewers out there, they're just out to get your money. They should have just said, yes, they'll cover it. I even showed the person who said she was the service manager. I kind of have my doubts that she was the actual manager, but be that as it may. Okay, here I am. Here's my card. I got 2 billion views on YouTube, so I give people advice about cars. I know the guys at Toyota used to go to meetings they had, but, you know, when they invite you to come to a meeting, it's a dog and pony show. I stopped doing that years ago. It was a waste of my time. I'd rather have you viewers bring me your car so I can analyze them in the real world, not some corporation entertainment. No, I just want the truth about cars, right? Toyota used to make great cars. Now, obviously, their quality's starting to go down. A year and a half, a seat broke in a $47,000 van, and they refused to fix it under warranty. Oh, they broke the seat sitting on it. Well, come on, it's a seat, right? And you know who sits on those seats? Kids. And the biggest one's 5 years old, and he weighs like 60 pounds. If that breaks the seat, you're not making those seats right. But they didn't stand behind it at the dealer because they just want to make money. I look at this shining dealer with all those service writers, right? Millions and millions of dollars overhead. You, as the customers, have to pay for that. They don't make any money on warranty work. And the funny thing I found was they don't even have mechanics anymore. I'm a mechanic. I call myself a mechanic. Now they say, we're tech schmack. A real person is a mechanic. The other day a guy came over here. I said, what do you do? He says, I'm a mechanic for a recreation center. I fix their diesel engines and stuff. And he said he was a mechanic. He was a little younger than me, but at least he realized he was a mechanic and he was proud of it, right? Now this BS, we're techs. Well, they're not mechanics, I agree, because they don't know how to fix things. They didn't even try to fix it. So we had to replace the whole thing. The whole bottom's got to be replaced, right? Now, like I said, I looked at it. They don't sell that spring. You gotta buy the whole bottom of the thing, which of course is patently absurd, but they don't even try because they're just parts changers. They are not mechanics who'll get in there and try to fix the thing. $800-something. The service writers get a percentage of what's sold out. The manager gets a percentage of what's sold out. I had a mechanic friend in Houston, and his son got a deal to be the manager of 3 Toyota dealerships somewhere in Colorado. He lasted a year and a half and quit. He said the pressure was too much to make money. You need to get them to fix stuff under warranty free and not try to charge money. And if you don't, it's a reflection of your corporate malfeasance that you allow these people to run dealerships and rip people off, and you don't seem to care. So Toyota, the ball's in your court now. Let's see if you're going to fix the seat or you're just going to go along with your dealerships ripping everybody off. Adelazian says, I got a 96 GMC Savannah that while accelerating, getting on the highway, it sputters. I replaced fuel pump, fuel filter, plugs, wires, caps, rotor. Clean the MAP sensor, replace oxygen sensors. What can it be? It says oxygen sensor 2, bank 2 sensor, low voltage, slow response. You said you replaced the oxygen sensors. I hope you used original equipment and didn't go to a discount auto parts store and bought cheap crap made in China. If you did, go back to original ones. But if you did, realize one thing. The oxygen sensor itself is the messenger. It didn't usually create the problem. It's reporting on the problem. So if it's got a slow response, odds are you got a problem in the engine management. Ignition system, fuel system, or the engine itself is wearing out. From my experience of those, it's going uphill. The first thing to do, clean the fuel injection system. Dirty injectors will do exactly that. You change the pump and the filter so it's getting fuel, right? The fuel may not be spraying into the engine, right? Because the injectors could be old and clogged. It's a 96. I would do that first. I would clean the fuel injectors first. Now, it might need them replaced. Could be lots of things. Start there. That's the most logical thing. And the other thing would be, since it's easy to do, it's a V8, do a compression test of all 8 cylinders. And if you find that some of them are low, your engine's just worn out, you're going to live with it or rebuild the engine. That's a simple. You can get a pressure tester if you don't want to have a mechanic and pay them $150 an hour. You can buy a pressure tester at any place for $30. Check all the pressures, and if more than one or more are a lot lower than the others, more than 20% off, and the pressure's real low, then your engine's just worn out. Thunder 7001 says, should I buy this Hyundai? It's an 03 Hyundai Slant V6, 220,000 miles for $1,000. Is this a good deal? All right, cars are getting super expensive, right? $1,000 for a used car today is nothing. It's the equivalent when I was young of a $100 car, and you didn't expect to get much for $100. Now, if it runs, if it shifts, and the engine doesn't overheat, why the heck not? You never know. I've had people, if it was a Hyundai that was driven on the highway a lot, that's a lot less mileage. If it was driven in the city, it's probably falling apart. If a guy like me check it out first, you have no idea what's going on with something that many miles on it. That's, 20 years old, who knows? But, and that price, if it runs and shifts and it goes, why the heck not? That's nothing for a car these days. You never know. Maybe it'll last quite some time. Especially, say, if it's a knock-around second car. I'd say, man, go ahead. But if it's your main car and you're going to drive 20,000 miles a year, I'd probably look elsewhere. No one knows how long it's going to be dependable with that kind of mileage. Twisted Face 17 says, my idle drops and the car stumbles. I got a 2012 Mustang 3.7. When I'm idled, and the AC fans kick on, or the AC itself kicks on, it starts to stumble. Then it goes to normal. I've looked at Mustang forums and others have the issue, but nobody has a solution. I've cleaned the mass airflow, throttle, new spark plugs, no vacuum leaks. What can do it? When your AC turns on, that is a large strain on your battery's electrical system. A lot of power, right? Let's face it, most houses these days, let's say you got central air conditioning. When that air conditioning kicks on, if you're sitting like I am in a cellar, the lights will dim for a tiny bit because it's using so much power, right? Well, in your case, you want to have the battery and the alternator load tested by a pro. Somebody who's got equipment like I do that can test it correctly in a very short period of time. Could be the alternator or the battery's going bad. Now, normally it's that. But if it isn't, that means that since you say it's the fan motors or the AC and the fan motors. Test the fan motors. Could be the motors are going out, they're dragging too much electricity. That'll make it stumble too. As will the air conditioning compressor. If it's wearing out and it's dragging, when it comes on, it'll make the idle go down. Pray it's just the battery or the alternator. Or the electric motors, and not the compressor, because the compressor is a very expensive thing to replace. To check the compressor, you can do this though. Unplug the wire to the compressor, then drive it. And if then it doesn't do it, it's the compressor. Because if the fans will come on and off anyways when the car gets hot. And if it doesn't do it anymore after you unplug the electrical connection of the compressor, you know it's the compressor. That's an easy way to test it. Well, I got an email from Andrew T, who warned me about people pretending to be me and giving stuff away on the internet. So, here I am telling you, it ain't me. The only me is Scotty Kilmer, ScottyKilmer@gmail.com. Those are me. When you see Scotty7, Scotty6, Scotty whatever, it's not this Scott. I am just me. I don't hide anything. The Scotty Kilmer channel on YouTube is the only channel I have. Do not read comments that people give pretending to be me. Anybody can put up a name and make a comment. And some people have told me, people say, well, you won this truck, but just send me, $500 to pay the shipping or some nonsense. It's all made up. Don't fall for this nonsense. It's not me. I mean, sometimes I have people trying to scam me with stuff. ScottyKilmer@gmail.com. Anything else isn't me. It's somebody else. And I don't hyphenate either. Just Scotty Kilmer, all one word. So, easy to figure that one out. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.